morning, sir. How are you? And welcome to Bit by Bit, a podcast by Radar. For all the audience, I'll introduce you. So, you are Dr. Anand Pal, you have a PhD. And honestly telling you, I've had this conversation with a lot of my, seniors as well as juniors. You are one of the most beloved teachers on campus, mostly because you've had this unique style of teaching, all throughout your this college life that students have had with you. And if I'm not wrong, you've also had experience researched abroad as well as in India. So today, my target with you is basically understanding, how you've come to this new type of teaching experience, as well as, how students connect to you. And, what students should be looking out for in the real world as well as the tech world. Because you yourself are proclaimed as one of those people who are extremely interested in up and coming tech and technology. So let's start with a simple question. Coming into college, you've come into teaching and you've had this great interest in science and mathematics and technology. How was your childhood like? Were you always interested in science?
It wasn't the case that I always interested in life. So I grew up in a very small farmer family in North India. So though I've been very curious student, as a person, I'm very curious about everything, not particular about science, about people, their behavior, and natural phenomena. So my journey started like that. Though my teacher and my friends used to consider me as a super serious student, but reality is that I go to school and later college. It's not that I like that a lot, but it was a good escape from the farming work. So as far as I'm going to college, my parents won't ask me to help them in the farming. And you won't believe that. Sometimes I used to think why they don't open college in Sundays. Because Sunday I have to stay back at home. I have to help them in farming. But what I feel that my curiosity about everything around me led me into the habit of reading. Because if you have a question, the first thing you will do, very logically step, to hunt for the answer. And when you hunt for the answer, then it's very natural that you look the books, you look the information. And I think that helped me a lot to keep going. And I think that's the answer of your question.
Yeah. So I personally feel, like you've also told me, and I've seen from your students as well, that you're not one of those people who's extremely serious. But when you have to be serious, you will be serious. But you're one of those people who likes to have a lot of fun, right? And as I was with you yesterday, you were telling me that you in general like to be a little funny, be a little casual. But when it comes to being serious, you become serious. So when did you actually realize that considering that you didn't want to go into the farming sector, right? So you realized that you want to go to college, you want to study. So when did you actually decide to actually pursue BTech? Or was it like that is in your generation, that was like always the commodity, right? Doing BTech was a big thing. So did you decide in that way that I should do BTech, or were you curious about sciences, so you thought I'll go into BTech?
Actually, but there was not a time that I decide I have to go away from the farming. Farming work is very, very hard, extremely hard. So from very early time when I exposed to the farming, I feel that, okay, man, this is not my cup of tea. I have to find some other way. And I will correct you a little bit. I haven't done BTech. I did BSc in physics, chemistry, and mathematics. So there was nothing special that I decided to do things. I just keep moving with the things, and my natural curiosity just take me one step to the another.
Okay. So, sir, what is one of your, that you have that fondest memory in life? One of my fondest memories before coming to college has been, working with my best friend. So we, directed this short film for Mahatma Gandhi Jayanti, and till this date, I've done a lot of things after that. it remains one of my most memorable memories. So what is that one memorable memory that you think, that you want to keep remembering, or when you're sad, you're down, you think, that was the time? And yeah.
I think I have thousands and thousands of memory. It's very hard to pick one. I've been like, as you mentioned, I've been a like very funny person. I surrounded by the people. We done lot many things in our life, and uh, I've been a person who have single motto in life. If you see something, just let's try.
Yeah,
And
let's try.
yeah, that's all. And so it's really hard to choose something. But one thing which changed my completely my perspective basically about myself, it was during my master degree. So there was a time like I was involved in so many things and I have like continuous failure. So that was the phase in my life when like self doubt was very high, and I was going through very rough patch in my life. So two of my classmates, they, I don't know, but they always have trust in me, and they always used to tell me, oh, you got good grip in fundamentals and these things, you should try for the net is a national eligibility test for the lecturership. And I didn't have any confidence on me. Even I was so scared that I don't want to try also. But I cleared it in first attempt. People might have done like 4, 5, 6 attempts. I cleared in first attempt. So that particular day when one of my senior came to me and he told me about the result, I think that was the life-changing moment for me. So you can feel one thing, like I've been confident person earlier also, but there was a phase in my life. So that was the phase transition where you see that from nothing and you got the confidence that you can take the world again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that one thing, but lot many stories, lot many fun, and still in my class also. You never been to my class, so a student who been to my class, that they can say that like I'm a very like fun-loving character.
So, sir, coming back to self-doubt, I think personally, there is a lot of, in general, self-doubt, or, because nowadays our education is all marks-based. It's about clearing this exam and that exam. So, self-doubt, and when you come to a college environment, which is, of course, much more harder in terms of competition, because there are a lot many people from lot many backgrounds with lot many skills. Self-doubt is quite emerging in students in general. So, what I want to ask you is very simple. Like, nowadays, students do have a lot of self-doubt. So what is your like method, or what advice would you give to go against that self-doubt, being confident in yourself?
One thing I can tell, and I think it's helped me, Bilal, is it might seem very funny advice, but as far as you have ability to laugh on yourself, you make mistake and you just, oh, Anand, that was funny thing. So as far as you have this ability, that help you a lot because you can try next step. But if you doesn't have this ability, and generally I suggest all the student, one skill which you have to learn laugh on yourself. So if you can develop this ability, that definitely you want to go. Definitely when we have failure we will feel low. It's true for everyone, it's true for me, still it's true for me. But this one ability I feel can help you a lot. And it's depend upon your surrounding also. As I mentioned that two of my friend, they have this trust. So human is a social animal, and we as a human being we also have this responsibility. If a person next to us or in and around us is going through the self-doubting phase, instead of judging them, because that's the problem with the society, we don't understand the person, what phase he is going through, what he did in his life and everything, but we jump to the judgment. Instead of doing that, we should also take this responsibility to help them and give them that emotional support.
Coming to the technical side, sir, what is your field of study? Like, what are you most confident in? What is, because you've done PhD, right? So what was your topic of postdoctoral research?
My field of study, basically my PhD as well as my postdoc, and later on is superconductivity.
Superconductivity.
So in general, this is nothing very like serious about that why I chose this field, though very less people know that I have like my master specialization is in electronics and communication. But most of the students who study physics at early age, they are either fond of the astrophysics or superconductivity. So I just chose superconductivity because I feel that this field have immense potential to change the world. And though after coming here in Manipal, I'm not that much in touch with the field because that required very high level of infrastructure and all those things. But that was my main topic, like the topic close to my heart in the research.
Okay.
Quite good analogy. Yeah.
So you did study abroad for a bit there, right? So how was your experience studying abroad?
It was amazing, and whenever I talk to students also, I always suggest them also that you should go abroad and explore, because the way we do things here in India, it's quite different. As you already mentioned that we are more focused on CGPA and getting grade and these things. What I feel they are like the academic environment, it's from both side, professor as well as student, is more of the skill building.
Okay.
So like I will remind me one story. I never had direct interaction with the student, but somehow student in department used to like me a lot there also. So I have a lot of chit chat during tea time. So one student, I think she was Canadian. So she was struggling a lot with the assignment, and obviously I also have same Indian mindset like you people do things. I asked her why you are worried so much? Why don't take with the help with some of your friend and just get it done and submit? And then she told me, look, I'm giving fee, putting my money and time to learn the skill, just not get the degree. And if I'm not able to do that, it means that I'm not utilizing my time, or I'm not up to the point yet. So I have to put more effort. So if you see these two things, so there is a full paradigm shift, the way we think here and the way people do there. So that's why I encourage students also always that you should go abroad and have this experience. It's just not getting job and have international networking. I generally talk those things also in my talk, but it's more about the becoming a rounded person, a full holistic human being. And that will help you, because we still lacking those things in our academic system. I mean, you can explain better, like maybe I come from the old generation, I have different perception about the education system. You guys have, like, you are studying now, so you can explain better what you think about academic system in India.
No, I personally wanted to go abroad when I was quite young, because I've lived abroad almost 50% of my life. So I'm currently 19, so approximately 10 years of my life, or 9 years of my life I've lived abroad. So I've seen that kind of education, and coming back to India, across when I was in class 5th or 6th, became a little harder for me personally, because that system is different than this system. But then again, sir, I've read somewhere that still today, going abroad for an education will give you a greater jumpstart in your career. As as an Indian, because the systems are different, as you only mentioned, that we are more focused, and that experience you were telling me about that girl focusing on, getting that skill rather than just getting a degree, right? So do you still think that it's still the best thing to do, getting an education abroad, maybe for masters, maybe for undergrad, maybe PhD, just one?
That's Is this coffee for drink?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So the point is that I take salary from Mahi, so you can understand my answer. But I feel that that is fun aside, but I feel that it's help a lot. India still have to mature up to that level, Indian academic system, where we focus more to help a student to become a professional, full professional, compared to just to get degree and go out into the job market. So I feel it's good experience if a student go out and have that experience.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So I was going through your LinkedIn, sir, and then you've mentioned or tagged an article there that you've mentioned that, generative AI chatbots such as ChatGPT or Gemini are there and now in the academic field. And when they're in the academic field, you feel that that is basically distressing or disproportionating students from actually studying or actually giving a try. So what are your thoughts on, these large language chatbots being there?
Actually, I've been very passionate about the technology, and might be some student might be knowing that I take one course also in higher semester, scientific thinking and creativity. So I always feel that technology is good, but the point comes how you use. If you take the example of like YouTube, and YouTube is a good thing if you know how to use it, and it can be a worse thing if you don't know. So if you run by the algorithm, then YouTube can be a very worst thing for you. But if you know exactly what you have to get from the YouTube, then it can be a great thing. So same I feel about the large language models. So if you have ability to ask the right question, and this is something I suggest to my students also, and always, you have to develop this ability to ask the right question. Then you can make best use of this technology and it will help you. But if you use large language model, just finish your homework and just finish your assignment, then the problem is that the ability of creative thinking won't be there. So student means I won't blame new generation. During our time in college, things were same. We also felt that why we have to do this assignment and these things, and because teacher never explained that why you have to do this thing. But writing is very, very important skill to clear your thought, and you have go with the logical steps. So if you are lacking this ability, like once you go to the calculator, lot of students lose the ability of mathematical thinking. So then it can be a disaster for the student. So ultimately, it's depend how you're gonna use the technology. Yeah.
Okay. Sir, so, you said you read a lot of books when you were younger and because you were very curious. So there's this quote by Walt Whitman which says, be curious, not judgmental. So do you think that wherever you are today, as a teacher, studying abroad, doing a lot of research in complex topics, do you think it's just because the fact you were curious, or is it because you were curious and you didn't want to go into farming?
Okay, I think both things are true. I was curious also. I've been quite argumentative like kid, and definitely I don't want to go to the farming. But I would like to correct Whitman. My idea is that if you are curious, you cannot be judgmental by any means. If you are judgmental, you cannot be curious. The point is that why you are judgmental, because you doesn't have ability to think. And if you doesn't have ability to think, it means you are not curious. So people who have this ability to think and who have curiosity, if you are doing something, and instead of I will judge you, I have this curiosity, why you are doing this thing differently than me, then obviously I won't be judgmental. So curiosity is, I think, is very, very important thing, just to keep you moving and help you a lot in life.
So again, similarly, there was again this question, books or ebooks. You chose ebooks, right? And then again, that question comes that, that then nowadays our parents are also trying to separate us from a little technology because it's being overused. And you chose ebooks. So why ebooks? Why not just physical books like I've kept here?
Reality is that I still read both. Like right now, I'm reading a new book by Professor Harari, Nexus, and I'm reading hard copy. I choose ebook because I can take it. Like if I'm traveling, I can take my Kindle or my laptop easily. So because traveling with physical book make life is hard. So that answer I gave, but I think I use both based on my convenient and these things. And still, like if you have this book and you reading, this smells give you nice feeling.
No, sir.
Yeah.
The smell of a new book is pretty good, right? So what? So you said you read a lot, right? And even when you were younger, you were curious, so you read a lot. So what is your favorite book? I'm gonna divide this question into another part. What is your favorite book? And if you read, non-fiction or even fiction, what is that one character you related to most, or what is that one quote or one line you related to most?
That is pretty hard question because but because I doesn't have this particular genre of reading. Definitely, I read non-fiction only. I don't read fiction, but I read lot many different books. Means completely unrelated. Maybe quantum physics, history of quantum physics, and then the other time you are reading some biography or these things. But what I feel, these two books which have long lasting impact on me, like I'm not sure how much new generation are aware about that. There is a very old book, Panchtantra, in India.
Yeah.
And I personally feel that every kid should read that book, every student. I like that is pretty good book, I feel. And then there is one book written by one Russian writer, Chengiz Aitmatov, The Duishan. That's a very small book. It's about a teacher. And it's about how a teacher who doesn't know complete alphabet, Russian alphabet, can build a school. And one lady, he studied in his school, and she became a professor of philosophy in Moscow University. And that is very small book, you can finish in one reading. So these two books have very long lasting impact on my life.
So why teaching? I mean, you've done your PhD abroad as well as, you have a lot of experience that you could also have gone to a private field or continued your research in, postdoctoral and stuff. Why teaching?
So means I have some illusion about teaching, which I like set it away once I joined this field. So the first thing, I read a lot, and then I think, okay, like teaching is a job where you can read and you can discuss. And when I was in college life, I used to see my like teachers. I think, okay, they have to take just 2 class and then rest is free. You can take, you can focus what you are doing. But now I realize that's not the case. You have to do lot many things, setting paper and these things. But what I feel that teaching is personally aligned with my natural interest. So that's the very simple, like very logical step to choose teaching for me.
Okay, sir. If you had, this is a very interesting question. I personally have many answers to this. What is that one person, dead or living, real or, non-real, that you would want to meet or sit or have a chat with, have dinner with, chat with, whatever you like, have a coffee with?
I don't think that I have one person like that in my life, because during my journey throughout that, I did lot many things. I met lot many top-notch people in their field, and I figured out one thing, that all people are same. They have same kind of fear. They have like same kind of stupidity, and but there are few habits. Like if you see the life of Einstein, he also made mistakes. So if you understand this very fact, so it's then you feel that okay, fine, every hero is not hero. But the one person which I feel if I get the chance to meet with is Dalai Lama.
Dalai Lama.
And I have a lot of respect, like I read some of his stuff and these things, and I don't know why, but naturally I have a lot of respect about him. And so I can say that he is the one person I wanna sit with sometime. Yeah.
I'm pretty young, but one person from my actual life, I've been mentored with was my computer ma'am when I was in school. So that is one person today I know I can still call and ask for guidance. So in my case, it's somebody who's real. And if I was talking about somebody fictional, I would probably go with my favorite Marvel character or something. Right. Sir, very interesting question in how you come out to your students, right? So basically students from whoever I've spoken to, my couple of my friends who I've come to second year. In the first year, a couple of my friends have studied from you. And in my own experience, I was practicing in the lab and you were talking in the lab and all the students had surrounded you. So what is your approach in that sense, not just being interactive? How do you connect to your students? Because many of them, to this date I know, are still connected to you. They love, hearing you tell about your experiences in life. So what is it that about you that you like connecting with students, or how do you connect with students more importantly?
Uh, I think throughout my life, people been very, very kind to me. And same I feel about my students also. I think they've been very kind on me, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. Now, why they feel that much connection, I think they can answer better. But I just feel that they are kind enough on me. But what I feel, and maybe a student can feel this in my class, I am a completely non-judgmental person. So if some student do something, I won't judge anyone. So I think that might give some ease to them. But ultimately they can only answer this question. So I don't know. Like I don't see any specific quality in me that why they need to be so fond of me. Yeah.
So do you think about your future in general? Like as a student, I think that, I want this internship or stuff. So what is it that you want to do, after teaching, or do you want to continue teaching? Do you want to do more research? What is it that you want to do? Because I think, lived a plentiful life in terms of experiences, been abroad, stuff like that. So what is that, one thing that you think you've not done, or you've done once and you want to keep doing, after teaching, or want to continue teaching? What is it in your head?
Uh, Throughout my life, I never been a man of plan. And still I am not a man of plan. I don't plan anything. As far as future is concerned, I enjoy being in class. I enjoy like interacting with the student and those things. So teaching is, I feel that very close to my heart. And it's not that it's one-sided. Being with young generation, with like you people, it gives me also a lot of opportunity to learn new things, what is going on in the society. And so whatever we discussed earlier, that I have this curiosity of keep learning. So that helped me a lot, both the side, and I hope it's helped my students also. So as such, there is no plan. As I told, I'm a person of like if you feel something, let's try it. And I don't have any regret or anything in my life that I haven't tried that thing. I tried everything. I whatever I like. I've been to politics. I've been to like I study very hard. I've been in social service. I've been in lot many things. So whatever I feel at certain point of time in my life that okay, let's explore this thing. So I just feel okay, let's give a shot to this.
Yeah. So one thing I liked about what you said during the start of, the first segment, where you said that you should, like, people should learn to laugh with themselves when they're making mistakes, because mistakes is a part of you and you can make mistakes. Once you start learning, then I feel you can, laugh with yourself. So, so now we'll, continue towards the end of this podcast. What is one advice you would like to give to students, or, people who are listening to you? And what is one thing, you think that scientifically is going to come up next?
Okay, so Giving advice has been a very hard thing for me. I generally don't like to give advice, but what I can say that stay curious, open-minded, and keep one thing in mind: there is no substitute of hard work. You might see your friend is progressing at these things, but stick with the hard work, stick with your value system. So this is one thing. As far as about the technology, I feel the future would be in automation and robotics, and then genetic engineering. These
Okay.
two fields will take the world in next 10 years. This is my personal opinion. So AI and ML is already picked. So that's why my future projection.
Okay, sir. Finally, how was it being on this podcast and this entire setup?
This is very, very nice experience, and I'm very grateful for you guys having me here. This is first time experience for me, and I think it have like a long lasting memory in my head.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
yes,
coming,
yes,
sir.
yeah.
So finally, I would like to thank, Dr. Shilpa Kalyan, who is the HOD of DLHS, and the DLHS media team who's given us this lab to, produce this podcast. And finally, of course, to the Cinechitra team, who've basically, Vidhaan and Sampreet, who've given their all and have helped us produce this podcast. So I hope you have a nice day, sir.
Oh yeah.
And, thank you for coming.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very much.